USC, Compton, Watts, Bay to LA. Pomona, California, from valley to valley, we represent that killer Cali. So if you keeping it real on your side of your town, you tune in to GANGSTER CHRONICLES.
GANGSTER CHRONICLES, we gon' tell you how it goes.
If I lie, my nose will grow like Pinocchio. We gon' tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
GANGSTER CHRONICLES, this is not your average show.
You're now tuned into the real MC8, Big James, and Big Stairs.
This is strictly from the streets.
Hello.
We represent the James.
We'd like to welcome everyone to another episode of the GANGSTER CHRONICLES podcast. Now with my player partner,
Big J.
And once again, MC8 is out there with the kids at football practice, but he promised his return is Monday, so y'all join me in letting them know that we giving them a knuckle sandwich if he don't show back up. I'm just playing, but he out there taking care of the babies. And we don't talk about it much on this show. Well, you guys know we all fathers, but we never talk about the relationships that we have with our daughters, which is very important because you got daughter James, correct?
Yeah, I got a daughter.
Was your relationship with her always a little bit different than it was with the boys?
My daughter was my closest. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I had the privilege of raising her for 7.5 years when her mama, was going through her issues. So it taught me a lot. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. When my daughter first started administration, I didn't know what the hell to do. So it was totally different for me. And I straight freaked out. But just being there for that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm running to my sister now, man, what y'all want me to do? You know what I'm saying? And they was like, boy, calm down, boy, it's normal.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, but, just being around my daughter, she was in the car with me every day. When I was up in the hood, she was in the Cadillac with me every day. While her mama went to work, and when her mama went off and did her thing, she was with me every day.
Yeah, daughters are real special. Same thing with mine. I guess from the ages of like 1 through 6, I wanted to do everything with her. When she first went to school, I'd even drive her and drop her off. I would walk with her up there, hold her hand,
right,
hold her, wait till the class started. It's like I didn't want to let her go. And the reason I'm mentioning our relationships with our daughters, and MC8 has daughters as well, is we're here with Miss April Ritchie. She's the author of the book, Teach Them Their Worth. A father is his daughter's first love. How you doing, April?
I'm fine. Well, I'm happy to be here.
For sure. Now, we've been talking a little bit off camera, off the show and everything, and when you wrote this book, the thing that touched me with it is that you said that dad is his daughter's first love.
Exactly.
And that goes, and I started thinking about the dynamic between fathers and daughters. It's usually, however, the daddy is, that's the type of man that the daughter winds up hooking up with, right?
In some ways, yeah. Some ways. Well, like, for instance, it's not so much as, because you're never going to find a man like your father. Never. It's impossible. I've been told that you're looking for a man like your father. No, I'm not looking. I'll never find one exactly like my father. But those qualities is what we're looking for. Those qualities that our father have is what, if you have a good father, a loving and caring father, all the qualities that he has are the qualities that you're going to look for in a relationship.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, and I thought about the reversal of that too. Because you have women that have issues, like, the sisters that may be out there doing their thing, selling their bodies, the ones that may run into drug addiction or either enter into abusive relationships too. So it kind of works both ways. Would you say so?
Yes, I would. I agree.
What you mean, blaming it on the father, saying it's the father's fault that she's out there like that?
It's not. It's not all the way his fault because people make choices, but he's a big part. He could be a big part of the reason.
What happens when you have a father that does everything, and then the father breaks off the relationship with mama, and now the baby becomes a pawn? You can't see your baby. If you don't this and that, if you don't this, the child support shit. Come on, man. It's some fathers can't be fathers because you have too many mothers out there that's worried about something else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of those women, they have something's wrong. That they probably didn't have a father,
right?
So because they don't understand. Otherwise, they would understand the dynamics that James is talking about. It wouldn't be that way. They would understand how important it is for him to be in his daughter's life, or whatever man, whoever it is, they would understand that it's important. You can't use a child as a pawn. You know, it's not going to get you anywhere. Ultimately, it's just hurting the child.
No, you can't. But, you know, you have those girls, and we all knew them girls in high school that was, like, known for kind of being kind of promiscuous. A lot of those girls that I knew that was like that had issues with their father, or either had abandonment issues. Their fathers wasn't at home with them. Their fathers was locked up and stuff like that. So I think ultimately a lot of women may find themselves trying to replace that father figure. And
they do. You are absolutely right, Norm. A lot of women, especially those that are promiscuous, a lot of the reasons why is because they're trying to understand. They don't know. They didn't have nobody to model what a man was, so they had to try to create that man in their own head and figure out, okay, is this what a man is supposed to be? Even controlling man. Some women think that controlling means he loves me. You know, they think that. I've been told that before by women, that, well, he loves me. You know, I thought that that's what a man was supposed to do. You know, I'm supposed to do these things. I'm supposed to do whatever he says. But a lot of them have told me that the reason why they dealt with certain situations is because they had to figure out what a man was. They didn't have a father at home to teach them that. So,
you know, fathers get the bad end of the stick here because, you know, and let's just say father ain't there. Okay. What's the strength of a black woman, though?
Okay, well,
you know what I'm saying? Mommy step up and she gonna take care of flock, right? So what daddy don't teach, mama teaching.
Exactly.
My mother raised 5, and her 3 sons and 1 daughter was bad in the streets hanging. Mm-hmm. But my mama still did it. You feel me? My mama taught me a lot of street shit. She made me understand a lot of things, even with our problems. So that's what I'm saying. A black woman, the strength of a black woman, you can't measure that.
No.
You feel me? Mm-hmm. Because she's so many ways. There's so many things to her.
Yeah, they do make a lot of stuff shake. One thing that was amazing, I ain't gonna get too much off topic about the black women, is like, I thought about it one day. I said, man, how do somebody manage, you know, they got to pay for their rent. You know, that might be, in California, it could be $1,800, $2,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment, right? And you may have 2 kids with a dude that is non-existent, that's not helping nothing financially. Exactly. They got to get took care of. They need food, clothing, and shelter. And you wonder sometimes, and they may be working a couple of jobs and taking care of the kids on top of that. And usually it's a grandma somewhere in the cut helping out. So then you got another black woman in the background that's, exactly, you know, helping to make stuff possible. But, you know, we're not talking about those type of situations. We talking about the situations to where, because sometimes a father can't.
All that leads to it, though, Norm. Everything we talking about leads to this book. Because in some of the situations, we can't be fathers because of the mother. You know what I'm saying? True. And being a parent today is totally different from 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Mm-hmm. You know, and I can speak for myself. Being a father, and I'm in the streets, I gave the streets more time than I did, you know,
your daughter,
with my son.
Your son.
With my first kid. Okay. And then when my second one came, okay, I'm gonna slow down a little bit. The third one came, okay, I'm gonna cut the Jerry curl, I'm gonna move, and I'm gonna try to do this. But, no, serious talk. You know, I'm speaking from experience.
Okay.
Being a father, I gave everything I had. I gave my last. Mm-hmm. I went out there, robbed and steal to get what they didn't have. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the day, when your kids grow up, man, I thought I taught my daughter everything. I thought she was gonna be the coldest book that walked around. You know what I'm saying? Because I always told my daughter, you don't want no man like your daddy. You don't want no man like your uncles. This is it right here. You see how your daddy and your uncles is, you turn your head and run. You feel me? So, you know, thinking that she understand, when I released her, when I let her go back to her mother, after the time I had with her and spent with her, she got pregnant and I didn't even know it. I'm like, damn, where did I go wrong on that one? But she just wanted to be what her daddy was, what her mama was. And she
Her
just
daddy was her first love.
and she just went gangster. You know, my daughter would fight boys. She wouldn't fight girls. You know what I'm saying? So it hurt me to lose my daughter to the system, the same system I went through. You feel me? So I didn't know how to relate to that. I right now today, I can't talk to you on no phone. And these people saying, you are talking to an inmate in the correctional. Fuck that. I wanted more for my daughter. But she fell victim to the street just like I did. So
you always tell me too, you feel like if your daughter would have stayed in your company, stayed with you, that she would have been, everything would have been cool.
I'd have had her planted.
But what you need, but it's never too late. You can still do it now.
No, when she come home, like I said, when she come home and get out of prison, I went to prison one time, and I realized it wasn't for me. So it's damn sure not going to be a career for her.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I got her. I'm not dealing with this jail shit. I'm not going to pamper you because you knew better. And just like when I went to prison, I didn't have my mama and daddy. You know what I'm saying? I had my son, mother. And thank God for her, I was good. I was comfortable in prison. I had my Levi's and my tennis shoes and my packages. You know what I'm saying? And long as her mama doing that, I'm cool. So I'm just waiting on her date so maybe I can come back in her life and be her father at 28 years old, 29 years old. I'm still your daddy.
Yeah, because she's young enough to where she still got time to turn around.
And I still got her.
It's never too late. Never.
Yeah, so,
she was 50.
I mean, you know, this right here is a lot. This is where I mean, this is a topic that touched me because my daughter not here. You know what I'm saying? With me physically. You know what I'm saying? And when she come home, I don't know how I'm acting. Am I going to act like a kid in a chocolate factory? Am I going to be happy that she home? No, I want to see how my daughter grew. Or if her situation made her grow. You know what I'm saying? But I can only be her father. You know what I'm saying? You have
to start from today.
So,
Forget about yesterday. What happened yesterday, it starts when she comes home.
Yeah, now with all that being said, you don't heard these two men's perspectives on everything. What was your inspiration to write this book?
Okay, well, recently I lost my father in October. I lost my father. He was my hero. And I had been writing many books. I've always been wanted to be a writer. I wanted to write books, screenplays, and I'd started like maybe 4, but when he passed away, I just had this desire to tell my story, you know, to help other daughters and other fathers understand the importance. Because like I told Norm and James earlier, we don't hear that. We always hear about mothers. Now, this is not to bash mothers at all. We're talking about fathers today. Mothers always gonna be on, you know, I mean, come on. Mother's Day is one of the biggest holidays, you know, but fathers need to understand how important they are. So the reason why I wrote the book was because my father he made such an impact in my life as a little girl, adolescent, and woman. Still to this day, it's a lot of decisions that I make based on what I dealt with my father, his wisdom, his lessons, you know, the care that he gave me, the attention that he showed me is very important. And like I was saying, it's never too late to do that. So this was my inspiration. Also, there's daughters out there that didn't have a father. James just mentioned that. What about, and then also what about the daughters who mothers don't want the fathers to see them? Well, we got to change that. That's not good because it's not about you and your boyfriend or your husband. It's about your child. We got to put them first because that girl or that girl we ain't talking about boys, but I'm just gonna mention them too. They gonna grow up to be adults one day. You know, and they need to understand how to be. He needs to understand how to be a man, and she needs to understand what a woman should deal with, how much a woman should take, and that's what a father teaches a daughter. He doesn't teach her how to be a lady. He teaches her how to be treated, how she should be treated. You know, and
that's real deep.
Oh, it is. You know, and
that. How do a father teach his daughter how to be a woman?
He can't. A mother teaches you, your mother, like Norm said, your grandmother, because some of us didn't have our mothers or our fathers, But we might have, anybody has always had somebody in their life, I'm sure, that they looked up to, whether it was a grandmother, big mama, big daddy, Mima,
Yeah.
So, April, you telling me that I can't instill in my daughter what a woman should be, or the type of, just say for instance, I want a Pacific woman.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I can't explain to my daughter what type of woman I want to reflect on her, for her to just say, damn, if my daddy want a woman like that, I want a man that wants a woman, not a boy that wants to just play around. Daddy can't teach that to his daughter?
Well, what you can teach. Well, no, you really can't. What you can do is teach your whole role in your daughter's life is to teach her what her worth is. It's to teach her what self-respect is. It's to teach her how the difference between a man that you got to stand at the door with your shotgun with, or a man that's gonna come into that house and respect your daughter and you. And how you want him to take care of your daughter, who cares about that? That's what you want. So to answer the question, as far as teaching her what kind of woman she should be, you're going to teach her that by the way you treat her. That's how she's going to know what kind of man she should deal with. She's going to know that by the way her father treats her. Mm-hmm. If he communicates with her, it's really important that you sit down and communicate with your daughter. Don't judge her. Don't talk at her. Talk to her. Let her know that you want to know what's going on in her life. I talk to a lot of men, and even my doctor recently told me, "What, you wrote a book? What is it about?" I told him, it's called Teach Them Their Worth. He's like, well, what is that about? I told him. He's like, oh, my God, I need one of them. I'm dealing with girls right now that they have boyfriends, and ever since they got boyfriends, they don't deal with me no more. I don't know what's going on. The communication ain't there, and I want to know what's going on. I still want them to know that, I'm still their daddy. So I told them, sit down and talk to them. The best thing you could do is start asking them about the guy that they dealing with, so you can learn more about them.
And that's
make sure they being treated right.
That's a hard pill for a daddy to swallow, because I know prior to my little girl, coming of age, I'd always said, she but not ever had no boyfriend. One of these little punk motherfuckers come over here, it's gonna be problems, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so when she did get one, I didn't feel like I thought it was gonna be, because I saw the way the young man was and he had good parents. The thing that struck me good with him was his parents cared about him like I care about my daughter. So if he was over there, I was getting a call from his pops, hey, are you home, Mr. Steele? Because my son is saying that you said it was cool, he came over.
Oh,
I like that, and I did it vice versa. She said she going over there. Y'all at home, because I'm not going to make it convenient for y'all to go make me no grandfather all early and stuff, you know what I mean? So I'm going to make sure that we don't give y'all too many of them opportunities, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But my daughter, and she really likes this young man, but she decided to transfer schools for her senior year, and he graduated last year. And it was a situation when she told him, yeah, I'm going to transfer over here because of this, and the third. He made a big deal. Well, why are you going over there? I don't want you to go over there because it's this and that. And she said, well, what are you saying about me? She was really offended, and she broke up with him. I'm talking about cried the whole first 2 days and everything, but she says, I can't be with nobody that would
stop me from
doing what I do. And then she said she felt that was disrespectful, because she said, what are you telling me? You think I'm like, why would I be? Because there's boys over there. There's boys everywhere.
Exactly.
But she didn't like that, because she said
she's 17.
What's your trust with, where's
she's 17 and she knows
mature.
I ain't gonna let no relationship at this time. You're only 17. Tell me that I shouldn't get an education and I shouldn't go where I think is best for me to get my education. So, boy, go on about your business. Let me handle my business.
And that's exactly
think
how
about a
she
relationship later.
And I missed the ear hustle, right? At night, because you could hear everything, because she wasn't talking to him. Then, I hear the finally she talked to him, and then she got him kind of on the speaker, so I could hear everything he's saying. So I'm standing out the door. He's like, well, I'm just going to go to the Army because I love you so much. I don't know. And he said, that's fine. If you do that and it's going to make you a better person, go do it. But don't do it for me. Do that for yourself.
Oh, good, Norm. You did a good job.
She said, and I said, okay. I said, I ain't
did a good job.
And that's a lot of times as a father, because you know it's a lot of pops out there that's real strict with their daughters. I just know, to me, that's the wrong way to do stuff, because I don't want my kids ever to sneak and do shit. That's when people get in trouble. I don't want them to communicate with you. I want them to be able to communicate. So if you got a boyfriend, I would rather have a little boyfriend over at my house where I keep an eye on him and look at him on my phone from upstairs. Be like, yeah, you sitting a little too close, and you tell him to move over a little bit to the left. You know, I would rather be able to see you and have you in my house and have you around. Sure, I'll take y'all to the movies and know where my daughter is at, versus me telling her, no, you can't do that. It's like you don't know what your kid is capable of.
Exactly.
So would you agree that is really not the kids, because your daughter's gonna act out? It starts with the mother or the father.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
It definitely starts with the mother and the father.
But, and like these days, we got mommy twerking with their daughters.
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
We got mommy on the motorcycle set with their daughters.
Exactly. And see, and those mothers are the ones that us that know better. If you know somebody like that, you need to put their crown is falling off. You need to help them slide it back on. Help them slide it back on, because queens do raise queens. James just talked about, what about a mother? What about a single mother? I was a single mother. You know, I had a boy, but still it was, it was difficult, trying to raise a boy. But queens raise queens. So to answer James' question, you can't have a queen without having a king. There was a king somewhere. Okay, right. whether that queen was taught by her grandmother, her auntie, or whoever, a friend of the family, whoever it was, a woman still has the ability. I'm not saying that if you don't have a father, you out of luck. I'm not saying that. That's not what the book is about. That's why one of the chapters in the book specifically talks about daughters, fatherless daughters, because we got to be there for them. Those are the ones that Norman was talking about, that sometimes don't understand what true love is, what love looks like, what love sounds like. They don't understand that. They trying to figure it out. We're dealing with all kind of stuff. When we recognize that, we got to help them. It's our duty as women to help one another. It's a father's duty. When he see his daughter her crown is falling off, that he put that invisible crown on her the day she was born. And that's what I'm trying to get fathers to realize in my book. That was another reason why I wrote the book. I had an imaginary crown on my head. Nobody could see it, but I knew it was there. I got Valentine's Day candy for 53 years of my life from my father.
Wow.
When I was getting it, I was happy. I didn't think I was going to be thinking about it now. I didn't know that it was going to impact my life the way it did, the way it has now. So it's a lot of things he did for me. It's the small things. It's not always the Prada bags and the Gucci bags and Louis Vuittons and all that. It ain't about that. It's the small things that matter. So.
Yeah, it is. And that's the truth right there. And the thing is, I realized through my daughter that I had a whole lot of influence on her, because just seeing the way that she interacts, how she carries herself, and she has a certain confidence to herself that she's not going with nothing, because she grew up watching me open the door for her mother.
Exactly.
Open the door for her mother, cooking, and I wash dishes too. My wife ain't going for that chauvinistic stuff to where, because I do the majority of the cooking, and my wife do the majority of the cleaning, but I do some cleaning too. My wife will, women get upset about the littlest things. If we leave a plate in the sink, they'll walk around with an attitude, and once you get in the whole fight the whole weekend over a cup in the sink, and you don't be oblivious to what the hell they walking around mad about.
Exactly.
So I try to
figure them out.
Yeah, I try to be that example in the household, and just keeping everything 100. But I do get my place in the house as the man of the house. You know what I mean? But that don't mean I sit around, because there's a lot of cats that want that man respect but don't do the man things. You can't be sitting on the couch all day playing video games and your wife going to work and you get home, Mr. Mom, babysitting. That what you gotta. If you want to be the king, you gotta play the role.
Exactly. Y'all sound good, and it's 100. But I'm for the fathers that got the raw deal. I'm for the fathers that can't be that king to their daughters. I'm for the fathers that get that, a woman that goes, she's so mad at you, she go file child support on you, knowing you a truck driver. You can't pay your goddamn child support, they take your driver license. Now you took my manhood because I can't work. What I look like to my daughter now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the system is here to break us down. One way, whatever side of the track we get on, whatever corner we turn, you can't win. But you got a lot of men out here that wants to be pops, wants to be a father to their kids. You know what I'm saying? But you just have these women that snatch them away from us, and we can't be. So now automatically we deadbeats to the world, to the society, to these people that put you on child support, the county, the system, whatever the fuck they want to call it. And I just think there's a lot of men out there that gets the raw fucking deal.
Oh yeah, 100.
And we can't be fathers.
110%. And even with that, even with the child support stuff, you figure you get a dude, and I knew a cat that was going to work, and when I tell you, I don't know how he paid his bills, but it's like he only had like $200 or $300 left over in his check every week.
Shit, I got a check for $69. You know what I did? I took off my shit and I quit.
And I think it's one of them things to where, because I'm going to tell you, if stuff wouldn't have worked out with me and my old lady, she wouldn't have to put no people on me because I was to take care of mine regardless.
Right.
And I think that's how it should be. And I think my wife, I know for a fact, she the type, she wouldn't go put no people on me. You know what I mean? She would be like, hey, you know what they need.
That's one in a million.
You know what I'm saying?
One in a million.
And there's a lot of women like that. But let's, okay, so what do we do when if you have a woman that doesn't want you to see your child, and the only way you're going to see your child is if you go down to the child support building and tell them, what you going to do? Are you going to just say, forget it, I ain't going to see the child? Or are you going to go down there and do what you have to do? It might be wrong, that she did you like that. But what do you think your daughter would have wanted you to do? I'm just saying if you was in a situation like that.
Right.
Fight for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to fight for it.
Exactly.
Because,
pay the child support, do whatever. I mean, some women you have to do. I know somebody dealing with that now, and it's wrong. You shouldn't have to, you should be able to see your child whenever you want to see your child. So to me, when a man goes into a courtroom demanding to see his child, I know he gonna get everything he asking for. That's a man. That's a man when he does that. That shuts down that woman because that's ignorant to use a child as a pawn in the first place. Right. So she deserves everything. She deserves all of the holidays being taken away and all that. When you want to take away your child from somebody that's going to teach them something. What happens? Because the woman ain't thinking about what's going to happen later in life. She's just thinking about the love that she got for you. Which is crazy. You got to put your child first. The child always comes first. So those out there that are doing that, I hope they start to rethink.
Yeah, for sure.
Those ways, because it's not good at all.
It's something that I want people to rethink too, because she just came in the key word, right? And this is all off base, but I got to talk about it. Ritual, the vitamins that I've been taking, and I done lost all this weight.
Yeah,
and I'm looking good and everything. Go ahead, came on, man. Because
cut your shit off. Okay,
I cut it off. And the thing I like about them, man, with all this stuff going on, is we deserve to know what we put in our bodies and why. Especially when it comes to something we go take every day. Ritual's clean, vegan-friendly multivitamin is formulated with high-quality nutrients and bioavailable forms your body can actually use. You know what I'm saying? Not a whole bunch of just unnecessary stuff, which you won't find. Sugars, GMOs, major allergens, synthetic fillers, and artificial colorants. Plus, the fresh taste and delayed release capsule design makes taking your vitamins easy. I've been taking them now for about 3-4 months. Since we got them as a sponsor for the show. Thing I like about it, I only got to take 2 pills a day. It ain't a whole bunch of pills I got to take and everything, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is this with Ritual. Ritual is the multivitamin reimagined. The multivitamin should contain key nutrients and forms your body can actually use to help fill gaps in the diet. No shady extras. Ritual's delayed release capsule delivers high quality nutrients, including vitamin D3 in just 2 daily pills. Like I just said, only 2 pills a day. You always know what nutrients you're taking and when and where they come from, thanks to Ritual's one-of-a-kind visible supply chain. Now, here we go. Get key nutrients without the BS. Ritual is offering all of our listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/GC101 and start your ritual today. That's 10%. I just wanted to throw that out there for y'all.
All right.
Now we back to regularly scheduled programming.
All right. So yeah, another thing that subject I want to get on too and kind of cover that's in my book, where I talk about the respect, how a father teaches a daughter self-respect, self-esteem. A lot of daughters, they're suffering. We have a lot of daughters that are suffering from, like me, for instance, when I was younger, like I put this in, I wanted to be a little personal in my book. So I had to tell little stories about my own life and challenges that I had, One of them was I wanted to gain weight. I wanted a big booty and big hips like all my other friends, And I remember talking about that, talking to my father about it, telling him I need to gain. I don't know why I'm so little. My father would always tell me, beauty isn't within the eye of the beholder. You gonna be all right, wait to come on when it comes. Don't rush it, And if it doesn't, embrace who you are, the way God made you. He would tell me all these little things, But still, I listened when I was younger, but once I got into boys, things changed. I started taking, using drastic measures. Like one day I met somebody that told me I gained weight off of these pills. I said, what kind of pills? Some type of pills that turned out to be for psychiatric patients. I'm sorry. But I started taking these pills to gain weight. Started gaining weight, eating the house up. My mother swore I was smoking marijuana. But I was taking these pills. All of a sudden, my feet started tingling, hands started tingling, strands of hair started coming out. I'm like, what's going on? I got scared. Who did I go to? My father. Because that's what we do. When we have fathers that we communicate with, that communicate back with us well, that's who we go to. They're our heroes. My father was everything. I felt like he knew he was a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, everything, So I went to him, told him, Dad, I'm taking these pills, told him what I was doing. He said, what? So he talked to me about it, told me what kind of pills they were. Actually, that's how I found out they were pills for psychiatric patients. And I stopped taking the pills. So I'm just saying all that to say that fathers need to tell that they're the ones that when they tell their daughter that she's beautiful, no other man is going to be able to tell her that she's not. When they tell their daughter that you are worth more than gold, you are, hold your head up high, keep your self-esteem high, no matter what mistakes you make in life, no man is going to be able to tell her different. So she's going to value herself. That's what fathers teach daughters. Another time when Norm asked me about the reason why I wrote the book too, I remembered when I started writing the book, when Kobe Bryant died, a lot of basketball players, football players, all kind of entertainers were talking about how they were pledging to be girl dads. And I thought that was beautiful, that his influence on them and how he was with his daughters, it inspired others to want to do the same, even the fans and other people. So I applauded them for wanting to be better fathers to their daughters and be girl dads, because it's very important. Because like I said, a father teaches his daughter her worth all day long, and if you got a daddy some women have daddies that's in the house but still ain't a daddy. You got those that's there but absentee. Yeah, they're absent. So the book is, for the incarcerated father, because you still can be a father. You can make phone calls. You still can call your daughter once a week to make sure she's doing okay. Do you need to talk to me about anything? How's your life going? You dealing with any boys? What's going on? So he can get a feel of what's, hopefully he has a good relationship with the mother so she can let him know what's going on. He can write to her. If he can't call her, he can write. The military father, the single father, the father that's not in the house, the divorced father, stepfather, whoever it is, you have the ability to change your daughter's life. And sometimes you just got that daddy that work too much, that it just ain't at home, that he seemed like he absentee, but he works so much that when he come home, all he want to do is crash sometimes. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Eat something and go to bed, because hard working man. Doubles, you know what I mean? Yeah, and that's absolutely, that happens a lot. But even, the hard working man that's working them doubles still got to understand that if you got a daughter, you got to take some type of time out with her. Well, one thing I don't like, and it actually, and I don't, not to just get too personal with it, but I don't like is,
like I got a daughter that's thick. You know, she not big, but you know, her mom used to always tell her, you need to lose weight, you need to be down this, you need to be down that. And I kind of told my wife to chill out with that. I said, obviously these little, you know, it ain't like she ain't got little boys that don't, you know.
Exactly.
I just think sometimes stuff like that, if you're doing it from a health thing, you can, but I think you could put stuff in people's head like that.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree
because
totally.
the thing is I believe in people eating. Like I don't believe in that starving and putting little kids on diets and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I think they should just be able to just be who they are. And, you know, now if it's a health thing, I don't think you should be able to be out there feeding your kid Kool-Aid and, you know, hamburger meat every day, every hour. But I just think sometimes we just get so, what's the word I'm looking for? To where we just get to the point where we start nitpicking that little thing. Sometimes it's bad for them. And you mentioned that. How important is it to have a girl where her self-esteem is on point?
It's very important because it affects her life, and when she becomes a woman, if you got that's one role that a father is really important that a father plays is increasing and doing whatever he can to encourage his daughter to always have a high level of self-esteem, because you have daughters out there that, like, just say you may be dark-skinned. You know, you got women that's dark-skinned. They feel like I'm too dark, you know, because of the stigma that, you know, has been around. You know, and a lot of dark-skinned women, which, you know, like they'll tell you stories about being how, you know, he went for the light-skinned one, you know, instead of coming to me. So he ended up with this one because she was smaller or thinner. And so when you start doing your kids, or not talking about yours, Norm, but I'm just saying in general, it's so important that if your daughter has dark skin, tell her that she's beautiful. If she's overweight, don't tell her that she's fat. You know, tell her do it in another way. You know, maybe talk to her about health. You know, and making sure that you stay healthy, because it's so important. Because if your father tells you that, if your father is telling you that you stupid, if he's telling you that you too fat, if he's telling you that you got bad skin, you need to work on it, what do you think is going to happen when she meets that man that starts telling her that?
See, me and my daughter be the ones creeping to the donut spot late at night. Come on, mama, let's go get us a donut.
Y'all creeping.
She be creeping with me. We get out, eat all that. She go, you know what I'm saying? Because I think it's very important. I think sometimes we just get too petty.
Yeah, we do, because you got to understand that, you know, because when you do that, the tone that you're setting, it stays with them. It stays with a person when you, especially from a father. I know that my mother, with certain things I could talk to my mother about, certain things I can talk to my father about. And I really feel like if my father ever, like if I told my mother something about a guy that I was dealing with and she said, "Oh, don't be stupid," I'm not going to take it like I would have took it if my father would have told me, "Don't be stupid." You know, because I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. I'd have to talk to a few other women about that. But it's something about when your mother says something like that to you versus your father or a man, period. You know, now him telling me that I'm stupid is really going to stick in there. Like, oh my God, my dad think I'm stupid? My mother telling me I'm stupid. Well, I'm going to be thinking like, well, mama, why you say that?
And let me ask you this.
You know,
because you mentioned the mama. I notice sometimes, because I don't get it twisted. My wife is a loving woman, to love our kids, and she don't be on my daughter like that. I'm just, you know, saying my thoughts are, sometimes the relationship with the mama and daughter can get a little complicated. I notice when the daughter turn around 16, 17 a little bit, because it get complicated with the men and their boys, because I know with both of my boys, I had to touch both of them up around that age. One of them had to touch him up when he was 18. The other one had to touch him up at 16, 17, because he thought he was Mr. Big Man.
That's when they feeling themselves.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Women go through the same stuff?
Women go through the same thing. The same thing. The same thing happens with my mother. We have a really close relationship. But at the same time, I guess I should say, like I said, a woman teaches you how to be a lady. Your mother teaches you how to be a lady. My mother taught me how to be a lady, and she told me how to, when I needed to act a certain way.
Oh, yeah. Hold on one second.
She taught me how to do it.
Anyway.
So, yeah, I mean, it is. You know, daughters go through things with their mothers. It's just, I don't know. I think it's because we're women. We're women. It's not like we're competing with one another or nothing like that, but women understand women like men understand men.
Women are from Mars. That book, The Women Are From Mars.
And guys are definitely from Venus.
Yeah, because the thing is, y'all go through things. Look at James. Well, that because I'm gonna tell you, I go to sleep. We go to bed on a Friday night. James don't have a perfect evening. I'm talking about I don't took her out. Friday night. You know how I do,
right.
Old lady. I take her out. We kick it. We go on our date night. I make sure Friday night is every date. Now we kicking. Had a good time the night before. Everything went on. I wake up around 8 or 9, and she'd be looking at me mad, and I'd be wondering, what have I done between the time I went to bed and we've been asleep, unless I'm sleepwalking or something. And she won't never say what's going on. Like, what is that right there?
Well, have you ever thought, just as a man, it could be the attention that she want while y'all in the bed?
Oh,
you could just put your arm. Maybe lay on your chest.
For your information, maybe I gave her the ultimate of attention, and I thought, everything was good.
No, just because you have relations don't mean it stops once you bust one.
No, I know that already.
It continues. You after let me say this. And we way off of this where we at right now.
No, it's a question because we don't get women on this show too often. So I'm gonna ask what stuff I be wanting to know.
Well, what a woman want, man, and some of us brothers don't understand what a woman really wants when she in the bed. It ain't all necessarily have to be touchy, licky. It just could be hold me.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to feel that man's, them arms and just feel secure.
And when you do all that, because I'm gonna tell you
very important.
I'm gonna tell you. Do it, then she gonna frown up at you.
I'm gonna tell you something. If mine have a dream about something, I get the heat from that. Then I find out later on that it was something crazy, a dream, or something that happened. Or she went downstairs and saw a cup in the sink. Just throw off, and it's kind of like, man, you tripping up, and it probably wasn't even me. Because if it's my oldest son, if it's my son, it's his. Oh, that's cool. It ain't nothing to him. And I love when that happens. And I say that wasn't even mine. That was his. And then she get to looking like, oh, well, it was him. It's okay. I say, okay, so you showing favoritism with your baby boy and your.
See, that sound like love, though. That sound like y'all got a good relationship inside the home.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, we cool.
You just need to go a little the extra mile.
Now you went to school with James, right?
Lord have mercy.
When James went to school.
When James went to school.
Yeah, when James went to school.
I went up there to hang out.
I know he just came at lunchtime just to fight.
Exactly. When he went to school, when he came up there to fight, because that's the only time we seen you, James? Because I don't remember you walking to no classes.
Oh no, I never. I walked to one class and then Punky opened the door for me when old boy was messing with her, and she. I told her I'm just gonna knock on the door, just come open it, and she opened the door for me.
You went there and whooped on that little boy.
Whooped on that ass. So it was bad, man.
So let me ask you. You talk about your father's influence, and you went to high school in Compton.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure you didn't have no gang allegiance to nobody.
I had that. I'm glad you mentioned this, Norm, because a father does not having a good father. Because I really want to make sure I don't send this message. It does not stop you from having heartaches. It doesn't stop you from dealing. My father was the kind of man that he stayed out of. I guess I could say he trusted me. He knew that he put everything in me, and it was up to me to utilize everything that he gave me, make the right decisions off of it. He talked to me about every type of man that I could possibly deal with and encounter, and how to handle it, how not to be influenced by certain things. So I had my own mind, and yes, I did. I dealt with, guys that gang bang. Yes, I did.
Oh, so you did deal with that. Now, did you ever hear your pop's voice in the back of your mind like, I know I shouldn't be out here with this no good nigga? My daddy wouldn't be having it.
I heard his voice in my head telling me, things that he would tell me, like,
James right now.
Make sure you keep your head on the swivel. Right. I always know what's going on around you. That's what he always told me, and that's what I did. He knew he couldn't control, and and that's very important. You cannot, when you just think, when somebody is in love with someone and you constantly badgering them about them, normally it's gonna push them closer to them. It's not gonna push them away. It's gonna push them closer. So So what he did, the way he dealt with me as a woman, he talked to me about what I may encounter. He talked to me about why men do certain things, and it was up to me to utilize all the wisdom and talks that we had. All the wisdom that I gained from him. And when I dealt with certain guys, he might not have been, I never did go to him and tell him, oh, Dad, this dude is like a real gangbanger. I wasn't going to do that. Right. But at the same time, I knew what I was going to get myself into and what I wasn't. I knew how far I was going to go.
And I think that women is naturally attracted to boys that got an element of mystery about them and some. I just don't think women like punks. I don't think they necessarily got to be a gangbanger. I just don't think women like soft ass dudes.
Well, women want a man that she know that's gonna fight for her, or don't just sit there and get his ass whooped in front of her.
Exactly. Women want men like myself. I can say I want a protector.
Yeah, because you know what? Because honestly, I think women just want a motherfucker that's gonna fight back.
That's right. Not just gonna fight, but fight back in every kind of way, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about how a man carries himself with her. You know what I'm saying? Everything you don't have to take off on. Everything is not about a fight. It's just how you show your maturity to certain motherfuckers and some bullshit.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, when it comes to women, and my wife broke this down to me one time. It's certain situations that a real woman is not going to tell you about because they may not want you to give them no bullshit over something that's nothing like. Mm-hmm. It may be something, I may be in the store, right? And my wife may not tell me something till we in the car and I'm around the corner, like she'd tell me that dude was doing this. I'm like, why you ain't tell me? Y'all done fucked him up. And that's why I didn't tell your ass when you was in work. Because you'd have been there getting drug out in the handcuffs right now.
Right.
Exactly.
And then there's certain things that where if something happens, she feel I need to know about it. She bring it to my attention. But that's what she told me, because I used to always look at the way, because she schooled my boys on certain stuff, like any girl that runs to tell you everything about getting you jealous all the time, run from her ass because she attention whore and she trying to she get off on seeing motherfuckers fighting over her. Mm-hmm. Like get away from her.
Seekers.
So I think, something like this is needed because there's a lot of brothers, like James said, that want to be involved with their kids' life, daughters or sons, be whatever, but they can't.
They can't, and then some of them just don't know how, because if you didn't have that, then how could you give it? So some of them don't know how. So part of the book is also about that, which is why, I give examples. I'm not thinking, you don't necessarily have to use the ones that I give. You can make, your own, because everybody has a gift. Everybody has something. Every man has something that he could teach his daughter.
Yeah, that's real. And now, where can people get this book from?
The book is available on Amazon right now. Hopefully in Barnes & Noble soon. I'm waiting to hear back from them. But right now, you can go on Amazon.com and purchase the book, Teach Them Their Worth, by April L. Ritchie.
By April L. Ritchie. And I'm going to read this dedication real quick. You said, this book is dedicated to my phenomenal father, my hero, the first man I ever loved, Preston Elijah Ritchie Jr., my heart. Your daddy meant a lot to you, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Well, he means a lot to you.
He means a lot to me. Forever. He left me a grab bag, and that's very important. He left me a grab bag full of all kind of, lifelines that I can pull out of, whenever I'm dealing with this. If I'm dealing with something with a man, if I'm dealing with something at the job, all kind of, he taught me so much that there's nothing that I don't think I can handle. Like in my book, I talk about when he passed away, and one of my close friends asked me, out of everything that he taught you, he didn't teach you about this? And, something's like, I couldn't believe that she said that to me, but at the same time, it stopped me in my tracks because I was like, yeah, multiple times. So these are the things that you have to prepare your children for, period. And he did that. He did that in a phenomenal way. So, I was lucky. You don't always everybody don't have the same experience. That's why it's important to share. And that's me. I'm a share mine. If I meet a woman that I notice is, doing certain things to get attention, because women can be promiscuous. They can dress, raunchy, be with promiscuous, being with too many men, being boisterous or whatever, or moving too fast, and it's not my place, but I'm gonna find some kind of way when I'm around somebody like that, or and I'm talking to them and they're telling me about a relationship that they're in. If it's something that a red flag goes up, I'm going to find some kind of way to put a coattail, if I can. And I think that we as women should do that for each other.
Yeah, it's only right. Mm-hmm. It's only right that we act, that we treat each other as brothers and sisters, because I give brothers sometimes, especially if they solicit my advice, because with some brothers, you got to be real careful with that, because a motherfucker feel like you're trying to one-up them sometimes. Mm-hmm. Really, you're just trying to give them some help. So if a brother asks me, I'm a damn should tell them the truth, because I ain't got nothing but love for you. I just want to see you just achieve the greatness that you're capable of achieving. I ain't gonna never try to tear you down or nothing, Mm-hmm. Exactly. Try to tear you down or nothing. So
I got that's cool, but like I said, you got a lot of brothers out there that's scared to be fathers. You got some brothers out there that don't know how to love. Like I don't know how to love. I didn't know how to love, but let's stop using certain things in our life as an excuse. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I learned how to read so I can learn how to love. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty much taught myself. You know what I'm saying? After my conversation with Moms before she passed, the respect I had for women went that high. You know what I'm saying? It elevated like a mug. And, being a father, I took pride in being a pops. I was one that didn't want to have 30 kids. My 3 was enough. Mm-hmm. How many grandbabies they give me, I'm cool. I didn't need all that. But there's a lot of brothers out there don't have this story, can't tell this story. So my thing is, man, don't let nobody tell you can't be a father. You will find a way out to be a father. If you don't, then you using that shit as a cop-out to not be a father. So step your game up if you want to be in your kid's life.
Yeah, for sure. Because I'm going to tell you, being a father is probably the most gangster thing that you can ever do in life. Because I'm going to tell you, the worrying don't never stop. Especially when you get a daughter, because my daughter walks home from school sometimes, and I swear around that time, I'm almost on the phone with her from the time that she leaves that school to the time she hit my door and I hear in her house.
Right.
I'm on the phone with her because I never stop worrying, because it's just crazy motherfuckers out there and you just hear too much bad shit, so you never stop worrying.
Exactly.
Now, where you at on social media?
On social media, I'm on Instagram, or you can go to The Real April Ritchie on Instagram, and also Facebook, The Real April Ritchie.
Yeah, we go for sure get this out there. We appreciate you coming on.
I'm happy I'm honored to be here. When I reached out to James, it's just greatly appreciated, because I can't think of a better stance to use than this one. This is the Gangster Chronicles. It should be a lot of men. I mean, how many listeners you guys got now? What is it? A million now?
Yeah, we got a million now. We got a million now. So
exactly. So you got a lot of men. I'm sure I listen to Gangster Chronicles, so I'm sure it's a lot of women listening too. But for the men out there, because that's it. The fathers that are usually affected, I hate to say it, are the minorities, us are the black fathers, the brown fathers, they deal with a lot. Now, I don't know, I'm not trying to stereotype anybody or whatever, but how many black men are in prison? There's a lot of our black men are in prison.
They can't be those are fathers.
So exactly, that are fathers. So that's one reason why, like I said, I mentioned in the book that even an incarcerated father can be a father.
Yeah. Right. How many black men as fathers in prison are actually taking care of their households too? It's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, exactly. So
people don't hear about that though.
No, they don't, and that's what that's what's important. Also, it's important that we continue to, even the men, to respect the men. That's another something that's going on. Not trying to get off the topic, but we got women that don't respect men. That's something that fathers teach you. My father taught me so much that I can't stand to see a man being belittled by a woman. I can't. It's one of my. I cannot stand to see a woman belittle a man in public. It's terrible. So because of the respect that I have for manhood, and that is because of my father, that I have that respect for men. I know what a real man looks like.
Yeah,
I know what a real man sounds
like. He need to know his worth.
Yeah.
He sound like he need to know it. He need to know his worth. But we appreciate it. We appreciate the wisdom. Y'all make sure y'all go out and get this book.
I would appreciate it. Teach them their worth. Amazon Prime, Amazon.com, The Real April Ritchie at gmail.com. Reach out to me. Let me know your thoughts. And thank you for having me.
And we will have the links to her book in the description. So make sure y'all go in the title description and look for the link. We got it there. Go support this sister, all right?
And everybody out there talking about they don't have no way and don't understand or have no route to take to be a father, go get the book if you're serious about being a father. Go get this book, man. I'm reading it through the cover and it's just, damn, not for.
All right, and we'll see y'all next week. We out of here.
We out.
Finally get a chance to let the